I'm Captain Mick Sertze, and I oversee the Troop B Bureau of Criminal Investigation. Following consultation with the Wayne County District Attorney's Office, I'll provide a brief statement to clarify some questions the media is asking and answer a limited number of questions due to the fact the investigation is still ongoing. On March 23rd of 2022, at approximately 5:29 p.m., the state police responded to a reported dispute at a residence located at 4215 Pearsall Road in Williamson. It has been determined that 4 suspects in total were involved with the home invasion at 4215 Pearsall Road. At this time, it appears 2 17-year-olds and 1 18-year-old forced their way into the residence armed with 2 handguns, 1 long gun, and a machete. The 4th 17-year-old suspect remained behind in a nearby vehicle. The armed suspects were met with resistance to their attempted burglary, and a physical altercation ensued. During this altercation, the suspects fired the weapons they had entered the residence with. At one point, the residents disarmed the armed suspects and returned gunfire. One suspect ran from the residence and joined the 17-year-old who stayed in the vehicle. These 2 individuals fled the scene in the vehicle they had arrived in. They were both taken into custody by troopers a short distance from the scene without further incident. The 2 suspects that were injured during the home invasion and 2 of the residents who were injured during same were taken to Strong Hospital for treatment of their injuries. The investigation is continuing at this time. We'll continue to work with the Wayne County District Attorney's Office as prosecution of this case moves forward. I'll take any questions and we'll keep it brief.
Do you know why these 4 young men, why they were trying to break in or to get into this house?
We're still working on that at this time. We haven't determined an exact cause of why they went there.
So are you thinking it's a random act or like they knew?
I do not believe it was a random act. I think the parties knew each other.
You used the word burglary. Why burglary?
Burglary is a term that's a criminal term in regards to the penal law. In this case, the suspects were arrested for burglary first. Again, there's an ongoing investigation and possibly grand jury, so that those charges could change to something different. But of now, one of the charges we charge them with is burglary first. And burglary involves a residence that's occupied at the time with the use of a weapon for this charge.
So the initial victims shot back with the suspects' weapons?
Correct.
So how many weapons total were involved?
The suspects introduced a machete, a shotgun, and 2 handguns when they entered the residence.
So basically, they disarmed the gentleman coming in and then turned their own weapons against them? Is that what took place here? Can you sort of give us a description of, they broke in, was the front door open, was it locked, or how did they gain access?
They forced entry through the front door, confronting one of the residents, and then a melee, a scrum ensued from there, and that's when the weapons were taken from the suspects during that altercation.
So 2 people who lived there, you said, were injured. How are they doing?
There was a total of 4 residents in the house at the time they entered. One subject was released. The other one, I'm not sure if they've been released at this time, but they did receive an extended care at Strong Hospital.
How about the condition of the suspects?
Last we had update was the 2 suspects at Strong were still at Strong, receiving care. Prognosis is good. They were arraigned virtually last Friday by the county court judge from Wayne County and ROR'd at that time, pending a return to youth court.
Do you believe that drugs was impetus for this break-in kind of thing?
I can't say that. We don't have that information, no.
Were there any children at the residence at the time of the break-in?
No children.
Who owns the property? Who owns the house?
I don't know that it is a 3-family residence, so the individuals of the residence were tenants in one of the apartments.
But no, I'm just wondering, were they people there that because they worked in that area, or why were the residents, I guess I'm wondering if that, because there's a farm close by, if they had any relationship with the farm.
I can't speak to that. I can't speak to that, either the victims or the suspects in this case.
Are they originally from the Williamson area?
The victims or the suspects?
The victims and suspects, actually.
I can't speak to the victims. I can speak to the suspects. All their addresses and residences came back to the city of Rochester.
So it seems a little unusual for them to go all the way out to Williamson, south of Williamson, to target this particular residence, doesn't it not?
Well, I believe they had this residence in mind when they probably left the city of Rochester.
You good, guys?
Well, just one more question with, you say they knew each other, so the four that lived in this place, were they also from Rochester originally, or you don't know that, or how do they know each other kind of thing? Have you ever been able to figure that out?
We're still working on that, so I can't give a definite on how the relationship began or how they knew each other.
What kind of charges do I mean, two of them died, but what about the two that are still in the hospital? What kind of charges did they?
Yeah, nobody died.
Oh,
So the charges for the suspects, all four involved, the three 17-year-olds and 18-year-olds, burglary first, I think it was assault first, and then criminal use of a firearm in the first degree, which are all B felonies.
I'm sorry if you already said this, but were there drugs found in the apartment?
I can't speak to that.
So the two that were fleeing, how did the state police or the county, I don't even know who pulled them over, but how were they apprehended so quickly? Were they at a high rate of speed, or what took place there for them to be pulled over?
An individual that was on the phone with 911 gave a description of the vehicle. The responding troopers observed that vehicle in the near vicinity and performed what we call a felony vehicle and traffic stop. And as I mentioned before, they were placed in custody without further incident.
And once they were pulled over, were there any guns or drugs or anything found in the car that would cause any?
To my recollection, there was nothing found in the car in regards to the home invasion.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Mark,
Yeah.
are you releasing the mugshots of?
We don't release mugshots,
Okay.
period, but because they're 17,
Yeah, they're
we don't even-
underage.
Yeah. So,
What about the names? Are you gonna release the name of the 18-year-old?
I don't think we can because he's still eligible for youthful offender status.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me know when you guys are off.